Hello students, it's Sam Bennett, your guide to critical thinking, and this is another short video on a key concept. So in this video, I'm going to analyze a random argument. Basically, I'm going to show you what questions you want to ask when you're faced with an argument, and I want to show you how to answer those questions. So in short, I want to show you how to analyze and understand an argument. All right, so here's just the random argument. All right, here it is. According to a 2021 educational report, students who regularly complete their homework score on average 10% higher on tests than those who don't. So, encouraging consistent completion of homework will improve test scores among our students. So, the first thing you want to do is actually just make sure you kind of like have a very clear understanding of what is being said. So, I look at this and I'm thinking, okay, so it's saying there was a report. And according to this report, students who do their homework do a lot better on tests than those who don't do their homework. Okay, so that's like what the first sentence is saying. And then the second sentence is saying, okay, encouraging consistent completion of homework, if you're a teacher, is going to kind of improve test scores among the students. All right. So first off, this is an argument. Why is it an argument? Well, the in this passage, the speaker is drawing a conclusion, right? Specifically, they're saying that because there was this report, and because in this report they found that students who do their homework do better on tests, because of that, they're going to draw this conclusion that if you kind of are a teacher and you encourage people to do their homework, then then your students are going to do better on the tests. Okay, so that's why it's an argument, is because the speaker is drawing a conclusion from this initial information right here. All right, so that's why it's an argument. So we know it's an argument. Fine. How do we analyze it? What do we do with this thing? What are we supposed to do with it once we know that it's an argument? Well, the first thing we need to figure out is whether it's deductive or inductive, right? So once you know something's an argument, now it's time to ask, is it deductive or inductive? Why is that so important? Because basically, if it's deductive, then we're going to go down one path. We're going to ask a certain set of questions. But if it's inductive, we're going to go down a whole nother path. We're going to ask a whole separate set of questions. Okay, so that's why it's important to ask that question. Okay, let's deal with that, right? Okay, so is it deductive or inductive? All right. So the reason why it's inductive is this, or it is an inductive argument, first off. And the reason why it's inductive is this. The speaker is not saying that encouraging your students to complete their homework will guarantee higher test scores. Okay, let me say that again. The speaker is not saying, hey, here's my conclusion, and my conclusion is guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that encouraging students to complete their homework will improve test scores. No, the speaker is saying, if it's true that students who complete their homework do better on tests, then probably encouraging students to do their homework will improve their scores. Okay? They're just saying probably encouraging students to complete their homework will improve test scores. That's kind of it doesn't, so you notice we don't see the word probably in the conclusion, but it's very much implied. Now you might find that puzzling, but so let me put this in a different way. The conclusion is actually about the future. Notice what they're saying. They're saying, if as teachers we encourage students to complete their homework, then test scores in the future are going to improve. But look, we do not know the future for certain. We do not have certainty about the future. We are human beings, right? It's very likely that I wake up tomorrow morning, but even that I am not certain about that. I cannot guarantee that I will wake up tomorrow morning, even though I'm healthy. Okay? So it's the same thing here. It's like, look, we know for a fact that students who do their homework do better on tests. But that doesn't guarantee that if we teachers tell students to do their homework, encourage them, that test scores will improve. Why? Because maybe the students don't listen to us. Maybe the students don't listen to us encouraging them to do their homework. Then definitely, that's not going to improve anything. Okay. So that's why it's inductive, is because the speaker, wouldn't say it's guaranteed that encouraging homework will improve test scores. They're just saying probably that's what will happen. Probably encouraging students to do their homework will improve test scores. All right, so now that we know it's inductive, that's going to decide what we do next. Okay, so this is the idea. Once you know that an argument's inductive, then you're going to ask, is it strong? And then after that, you're going to ask, is it cogent? In contrast, if you know an argument is deductive, then you're going to ask, is it valid? Is it sound? So the fact that we just learned it's inductive is really important, because that means we should ask first, is it strong? And then second, is it cogent? So notice these are two paths. Path number one, path number two. We're taking path number one because we decided it was inductive. All right, so now, like I said, path number one, once you figure out it's inductive, you ask, is it strong? So let's ask that question. Is it strong? That's our question now. What do we do to figure that out? Like I said in the earlier videos, you divide the premises from the conclusion. We need to separate out the premises from the conclusion. What do I mean by that? I mean, one idea is you could like color coordinate them, okay? So premises are in yellow, conclusion in blue. I'm separating out the premises from the conclusion. Okay. Now, once we separate out the premises from the conclusion, this is how we figure out if it's strong. This is what we do. We accept the premise as true. We just accept it. We don't ask questions. We just accept the premise. And then we ask whether the conclusion is probable. Okay, so this is the idea. If you accept that students who regularly complete their homework do better on tests, then guess what? It becomes very probable that if a teacher tells their students to do their homework, that the students will probably improve their test scores. So you get the idea? Accept the premise, then ask yourself, does the conclusion become probable? And it's like, heck yeah, the conclusion is probable when you accept the premise. So that's why it's strong. Next, all right, remember what I said, right? After you figure out it's inductive, the first thing you ask is it strong? What's the second thing you ask? You ask, is it cogent? All right, so that's what we're on to. We're on to the cogent question, all right? So that's what we're doing right now. Now, I just want to mention something. This is very important. If we had answered the question, is it strong, by saying, no, it's not strong, if we had said, in other words, that the argument is weak, then we would already know it's uncogent, right? So it's great when an argument's weak, because then we already have the answer to the next question, which is it's uncogent, all right? So, but as you know, we figured out earlier, we just figured out that it's strong. So we have to, we have a little more work to do, okay? So once you figure out that it's strong, you're gonna ask, is it cogent? And to figure out if it's cogent, what do? Again, you divide the premises from the conclusion. And then you ask this question, is the premise actually true? If there's more than one premise, then you're going to say, are the premises all actually true? Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do to figure out if it's cogent, we have to ask, was there a 2021 educational report where students were found to get 10% higher on tests when they do their homework? Was there actually that report? If there actually was that report, then guess what? The argument is cogent. Why? Because it was strong and the premises were true, or the premise was true. Okay, so that's it. That's the end, all right? So remember, if you're looking at an argument and you figure out that it's inductive, you're gonna ask two questions. You're gonna ask, is it strong? And then you're gonna ask, is it cogent? All right, and remember, to do this, you need to distinguish. You need to separate out the premises from the conclusion. All right, thanks for watching.